Hi everybody, my name is Jeff Heffler. I'm the Director of Bands at Paredes Middle School. I'm here today to talk to you about quarter notes. We're going to learn all about them, we're going to learn how to read them, we're going to learn how to write in counting for them, and we're going to learn how to perform them out loud. So, it is very likely that you've seen quarter notes already at some point in your elementary school experience. They're going to look a little bit like this guy right here. So you're going to see a note. It's going to look about like that. You may have seen them looking like that. It's okay. Whether they're upside down or not, they're the same thing. They're going to have the value. For what we're doing today, we're going to do two assumptions. Number one, we're going to make sure each one of these is going to be one beat. And number two, because we have this 4 right here, we're going to count everything up to the number 4. Now, you may have learned this. As a student, you may have learned to see these and call them tas and say ta, 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 ta. Cool. That's where we're going to start. However, we're going to use a slightly different name. So instead of just saying ta and say the same thing 4 times, we're going to give them each a name. We're going to call this one 1, 2, 3, and 4. So say it with me. Ready and go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I'm going to label that for us so that we can see, and we're going to add to that label in just a little bit here. As you can see, 4 counts, 4 quarter notes. Now, these quarter notes are going to be a little bit longer than what you may have been used to. So what I'm going to do with my counting, when I write it, I'm going to add what's called a dash. So you're going to see we have a little dash ahead of each one, and it's going to help us connect a little bit better. Now, instead of just saying 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to connect them a little bit more. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you'll notice, there isn't any space between my notes. I want to keep my notes connected. So that little line right here serves as a way to help connect between 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, and then even when we hit new groups, 4 to whatever's going to be coming next here. So whenever we see our notes, we're going to hold them just like that. Sometimes you're not going to see a note. Sometimes you're going to see a rest. And when you see a rest, what you're going to do, first of all, a rest is going to look like this curvy looking lightning thing. I wrote it in red so that you can tell the difference between the note and the rest. That rest is going to have one beat just like our quarter notes. It's going to be the same value. But when we write our counting, we're going to go ahead and put that in parentheses. And those parentheses are going to show us that we don't have to do anything there. So we have silence there. Now, my new measure that I've got written up here, my new group of notes, I'm going to count them the same way I did, except when I get to 4, I'm going to be silent. I'm going to think 4 in my head. I'm going to read the 4 in my page. I'm going to touch the 4 in front of me. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm still thinking. I'm still counting. I'm still respecting that, but I'm not making any sound there because the rest means we're going to have some silence. All right, now we're going to take a quick look at how we're going to be able to complete some of our Rhythm Chart 1 exercises. So this will cover Chart 1, 1.5, and 1 extra practice. But really, this is kind of the foundation of how we're going to do most everything that we see in this class. Even some of our returning students, we do a lot of counting still, and we're going to follow these same principles. So first of all, if you look on this page, you'll see these little rectangles going across here. These rectangles are text boxes for you to write in. So they've been preset for you to be able to just click on them and write in. If you look in that first one, I've already done that first one for you. It's the same counting as we just finished with here. 3 quarter notes and a quarter rest. As a reminder, I would count this line. I would count that first group and say 1, 2, 3. Then I jump right into that next measure. So what we covered earlier, we only did 1 group, but when you see this on this page, we're divided into different groups. We call those groups measures. If you haven't heard of measures yet, that's okay. We'll be talking about that a little bit more in the next couple of days here. So you'll see a lot about measures. But for right now, what you want to think is just like when you're reading words, you don't stop after every word. You're going to keep going till the end of each line. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And if you look where I've written it in, I've added a 1 and a dash. I've added a 2 and a dash. I've added a 3 and a dash. And I put my 4 in parentheses. Now I'm having to use the space bar just a little bit to help line things up. I'm trying to make it so that my note and my counting written in line up together. Now I'm going to start off on this second text box right here. And I'm going to erase where it says write counts here. Now on this one, I have 2 quarter notes and 2 quarter rests. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see it a little more clearly. There we go. I've got 2 quarter notes. So for the first 2, I'm going to write 1 dash. I'm going to space out a little bit so I'm under that second quarter note, and I'm going to put a 2 dash. Now, remember when we see rests, we're going to put them in parentheses. So I'm going to hit Shift 9. That's going to give me my left parentheses. I'm going to write a 3 dash. And then I'm going to close my parentheses with a Shift 0. I'm going to add same thing, parentheses for that 4 dash. And there we go. Now you're going to do that for this whole line coming down. So the first one started off with 3 quarter notes. We moved to 2 quarter notes. Then we move to 1 quarter note. So as we add rests, make sure each individual rest you put in parentheses. Once you're done this, you're going to go to share, and you're going to go ahead and share it with your teacher. Your teacher's email address will be in your blend course. If it's me, it's jeffrey.heffler, jeffrey.heffler at austinisd.org. So that's how you're going to write them in. Now, when you perform it, you're going to go ahead and actually take your finger and actually touch your screen. This is going to help you learn a little bit better. So you want to actually, we'll say touch the page a lot. That means we want you to touch what's in front of you, and we want you to touch as you go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It'll help your eyes follow. It'll help your brain follow. One more tool we're going to be adding in a little bit is this clicky thing over here. It is called a metronome. And so for our metronome, we are going to have just a nice steady click. We're going to use our foot tap to line up. This is going to give us the beat that we're going to follow. This will help us all line up together. So with my metronome, I'm going to perform just that first line for you. And 1, 2, ready, here we go. I've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Stop. And that's going to bring me through the end of my first line. We're going to be doing that a lot in class together. We're going to go through this whole first exercise together. Thank you guys for watching. Again, any questions, please feel free to reach out.